So guys, here we are on board today and I'm about to pull out the anchor windlass because it's suffering from some corrosion, and I've come up with a pretty neat little idea on how to stop it from corroding again in the future. Climb aboard All the Stars Sailing this week as we problem solve a corroding anchor windlass. With closer inspection, the real cause of the problem is identified, and we come up with a very unusual solution to prevent it happening again in the future. Ticked off the list now. So some of you might remember from an earlier episodes, the anchor windlass used to be a manual windlass and we've replaced it, well, probably about a year and a half ago with an electric one, and it was only in the boat for a year and it started to look really dodgy as far as corrosion. So the protective paint that the electric motor and winch body came with just shed the paint really quickly. So I figure there's something needs to be done about that so that it can last a long time into the future. Hello crew. So in the workshop I've taken the windlass electric motor off the mechanism on the boat. The reason I've done that is because only recently, this is only a year old, that we installed this electric windlass, as some of you might remember from the episode that I did on that. Look, it's been great. The windlass has been fantastic. It's made by an Australian company. However, the Italian electric motor that they use, for some reason, doesn't stand up to the salt. I noticed this part of the housing is not rusted, and I've got all my serial numbers and stickers on there, so what I'm going to do is tape all this up and cover it up so it doesn't get painted. I'm going to take this stainless steel coupling off, which is just these 4 bolts and that plastic washer. What I want to do is get on top of this corrosion before it becomes too much of a problem. Then I'm going to be treating it with a rust converter and then priming it with an epoxy paint and then finishing it off with a white top coat. So let's get started on that little job. Okay, so that's come off. I've marked the inside of this with a texter, so I know that lines up with the spindle key. So now I can get to the actual root of the problem. You can actually you can see how easy this paint's just kind of flaking off. Yeah, that's just not good enough. So anyway, what are you guys doing in here? And don't worry, the local quality control inspectors were keeping an eye on things. Okay, so that's about as much paint as I can get off. Before I brushed it, I've used a little bit of steel wool, sandpaper, scrapers. It's hard to get all the paint off from everywhere, but all the flaky stuff has come off. A little bit of white paint still here but that's on a rubber bearing seal. So that's not going to flake off a metallic surface. It's bonded to some rubber, so that's okay. So what I'm going to do is use this Scalmat ionizing rust converter. So I'm going to let that harden up, give it a day or two. I'm going to come back over with like a primer. And then we're going to do a top coat to paint it back up to white. And then before I refit it in the boat, we're going to be definitely covering this thing in some sort of rust preventative such as lanolin spray or fish oil. And the idea with any paint system is not to lay it on too thick. Because you get runs, the paint just can't hold its own weight, so you'd rather do more light coats, more repetitions of a light coat to get the build up that we're after. Well, looky here, it's a beautifully new painted anchor windlass, looking shiny and gleaming. Got rid of all that corrosion, so quite happy with that end result. And what I want to do now, before I refit this, is make up a bit of a housing just to protect the electric motor body from chaffing from the chain. So I think what's been happening is every time the chain is deployed or wound back in, it's rubbing past the body of the electric motor on the windlass, and just that vibration and sort of chattering of the chain's quite abrasive. it sort of helps to shake it off. So yeah, really keen to try and build in a housing onto this, trying to make this protected from, at least from mechanical abrasion. So I've wrapped up the windlass motor with some bubble wrap and some tape, and now I'm going to lay this out with fiberglass over the top and make a cast, and then I'll continue to build that up. So I've got a cowling, protects that from the chain chaff. This was a good opportunity to use up lots of offcuts I had left over from a previous project, along with some epoxy resin. Under there is a windlass motor. So when that's hardened up, I should be able to pop that off that mould and clean it up. Okay, here in my organised chaos, I have a half fiberglassed anchor windlass. Looks a little bit like a prosthetic limb right now. I've run that fiberglass cloth and epoxy resin, probably done like 10 layers. But what I need to do now is cut out this section and also this section here where our power terminals go in. And this is where our motor assembly connects to the gypsy chain winder. So I've just marked that out in texta pen, cut that out. Okay, there she is. So I can give that a good sand later too, to get all those little blobs and glue lines sanded down. But first of all, we're going to cut this out. The next thing I had to do was mark out my cutaways. Using a combination of hacksaw blades and jigsaws, I was able to prepare the cowling for its application. And this included making sure we had access to the power lugs at the back of the motor. So I've just put some more fiberglass over this to reinforce it some more. I'm going to leave that for the night. I'll trim off the excess in the morning, see how stiff that is tomorrow. Well, hello crew. So I am back at the boat here at Bermagui Harbour. Today I am installing this cowling, fiberglass cowling that we've been making, onto the very heavy anchor windlass. So this little guy will go over like that. I've just got my mounting brackets. I'll screw that together, and then we'll be fitting this up under the deck and making sure that the chain is all stowed correctly. So I'm just going to start by spraying the whole body of the motor with inox. Put a stainless bracket in there. The cowling is fitted. Bottom bracket, 2 top brackets, and this bit will have our power leads in here, so this will hold the back on. I'm going to grease the spindle on the actual windlass, and I've got to use this big circlip, get it up there, clip that in, and then I can bolt it on with our little bottom bolt there. May you go well. Oh guys, that was really a struggle, but and all I'm going to do now is push this guy in a situ. Aha! There we go. And yes, tension. Nice and tight. You can see it's open on this side so we can see what's going on, and closed on that side. Just got to connect our power cords now, pull our chain back into the locker. I pulled a bit out. You can see the old flaking white that was here from the old coating on the winch, which has all just come off. So yeah, she's been repainted, oiled with Leyland, and now we've got that cowling on there and she's all fitted. So as that chain's running down, it's rubbing on the cowling and the windlass body. Well, there we have it, folks. The new windlass cowling is fitted, and pretty happy because I know that that chain won't be rubbing on the windlass body anymore. So hopefully the combination of the new paint and the cover as well as the lanolin prevents any more corrosion or slows it down. I'm pretty keen to go for a sail, so let's get this girl on the water. And there you have it, one less job on the list. We hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to support us, you can do so by subscribing, or even better, for less than the price of a cup of coffee a month, you can support us via Patreon. Link in the description below. And why not join us next week as the lovely Rachel and I do some more boat jobs on board All the Stars. And thanks for your support, and thanks for watching. So the chain doesn't rub on that in the future. Hello, chicken. Time to go back in the hen pen? Okay.